spook easily startled.
Have you ever explored the depths of fear? Have you ever wondered what depravity dwells within the imagination of a storyteller that prompts them to exhume horrors untold and expose those horrors to unsuspecting audiences? Some are repulsed, and some are shaken. However, there are those who are invigorated. So to those demented souls, we invite you to journey inward into the dark bowels of human imagination. Press play, and you will discover what's in the podcast.
Billy Pelser has a nice home and loving parents who are about to give him
You're gonna like this. No, don't shake it. We're gonna have to open it now. It won't wait till Christmas.
the most unusual gift. But there are a few things to keep in mind. If you expose it to the light, you may hurt it. If you get it wet, it will multiply. And most important, no matter how much they beg, never let them eat after midnight. Gremlins.
You didn't listen.
They're mutating.
Sir, is the building on fire? No, that's a false alarm.
So the monsters are real?
I didn't say that.
Gremlins 2. The new batch.
Now, was that civilized? No, clearly not. Fun, but in no sense civilized.
And welcome back to another edition of What's in the Podcast. It is our newly discovered annual tradition of our Christmas double feature. The first time we did Christmas, we did Jack Frost 1 and 2. Last year we did Silent Night, Deadly Nights 1 and 2. I don't know what we'll think of next year, but this year was kind of a no-brainer. We just had to talk about Gremlins, and just by extension, because we love it so damn much, Gremlins 2. Mm-hmm. And with me, of course, is my significantly better half, Lynn. And in our previous episode on Christmas Evil, we talked about Lynn's penchant for decor, so we decided to go video for this one, so you all can see it in the background. Congratulations, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yep. So
it's our tree.
It is our tree. It is our tree. But you know what? You do all that. Heck, if you want to even do a big montage of everything else we did. No, we don't?
No, you don't need to.
No, we don't need to do that? Okay, so Gremlins. Gremlins is one of the... Actually, wasn't this one of the forefront films that necessitated the creation of the PG-13? Yeah, among the three.
Temple of Doom, Gremlins, and Poltergeist. I still say it's probably the lowest tier one when it comes to the three that created the PG-13. I feel like it's pretty... It has some moments, but not on any level to Poltergeist and... Temple, especially Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I will say though, if they did stick with some of the stuff in the original draft of the script of Gremlins, then it would have been a hard R. I mean,
but I think it's smart they didn't. I think it works being like that. It's one of those movies where if you want to toughen up some young kids, you show it to them, but it's not too much that it would be like too much, you know?
Yeah, you're right. It's just that right amount. Because I remember even watching the edited for television version, which was the way I saw it for the first time, there was still enough creepy in there that made me like wince as a kid, but I was still like entranced by it. Like
it's a lot off-screening or comedic stuff, so I think it balances very, very well. Mm-hmm. I mean, I always laugh when they say it's like, oh, it's so mean-spirited. I'm like, well, I mean, the Gremlins aren't nice. That's the point.
Yeah, they're little mischievous monsters that cause nothing but chaos.
I mean, the fact that they just laugh it off is kind of hilarious. Like, every time something bad happens, they just sit there laughing, and it's so funny.
It's funny to us as kids, of course, you know, we're intimidated by them, you know, and all that. But then, like, as we get older, we're kind of laughing with them.
We're just like, yo, you're just drinking at the bar, being a dick, going to the movies, just being an asshole. Like, fine, go ahead.
Oh no, we'd be caroling outside Mrs. Deagle's house alongside him. We absolutely would.
They trolled the like nastiest woman and killed her, and you're like, fine.
Oh yeah, sure.
Just go for it. It's all real.
Why the fuck not? But yeah, this film was directed by Joe Dante. This is, I want to say this was after The Howling, because The Howling was kind of like his big major motion picture breakthrough. Of course, prior to that, he was working closely with Roger Corman, most notably with Piranha. But this one was from a script by, of all people, Chris Columbus, the man who would later on give us such a family-friendly fare as Home Alone and the first 2 Harry Potter films, and then
he's reliable. He's the reliable director. If you want a movie that's going to be straight up, like quality, he's like that director. I always trust. If it's a Chris Columbus movie, you pretty much know it's going to be good.
He's a reliable. I mean, I will say though, sometimes I do think he overshoots a bit. Like I will say, he was not the right person to direct Rent. No,
I don't think much could have saved Rent.
Put it in the hands of Richard Linklater. Richard Linklater could have done something with it.
Yeah, but that was also, I still will say that was one of those musicals that, as much as I had a huge fandom, I don't think it was one that was going to translate to film.
That is also true.
Like some musicals should not be filmed.
Some of them. See, to me, they should have made that movie a heck of a lot sooner. Like during the independent film movement, when they started using digital cameras,
they could have made
put it in the hands of an indie film director. Film it entirely on digital, like handheld digital, like 28 days later.
When did the movie come out?
Oh God, somewhere like I think like 10 years after the show came out in '96.
See, the thing is, I will say, because we just watched Wicked. That can work, but the problem is with Rent, it was a very of its time.
Yes.
Play, like it was very 90s, very much that time. So by the time you do it in the later O's, the relevance of it, I think the only part is people hating the landlords. I think that part that goes fine, but just like the AIDS epidemic being very topical at that time, but now it's not so much because it's been it can.
They've been able to treat it a lot better.
So it's not as much of a stigma. I mean, there could be other things you could pick, but it just didn't work. I mean, there was a lot of we could talk about a lot of musicals where they waited a long time, and sometimes it worked. Wicked, it works.
Wicked worked.
Cats?
In the Heights. Cats.
No.
Cats.
Well, Cats.
That's debatable.
That's debatable if it worked.
Hell, we're a horror podcast, and I actually feel pretty comfortable if we did an episode talking about cats.
I think no one would argue with that.
I don't know if anyone would argue with that.
But case in
But Chris Columbus, actually one of his earliest screenwriting breakthroughs was this movie, and in fact, he will. And I think it's also fortuitous that we're doing this.
He's going to do the third film.
Exactly. They just announced Gremlins 3 is officially a go, and that Chris Columbus himself will write and direct it.
There's also films that easily could have sequels.
Yeah. Well, and also, as proven, they even had a pretty damn good prequel animated series that just came out.
The format of the creatures is Gizmo's still around, you can still get Gremlins. And also, who's to say there aren't other Mogwai out there?
Yeah. Well, as the show actually showed, there are other Mogwai hidden away somewhere out there in the world, so you could.
It might not... I mean, it better involve Gizmo. He's adorable.
Of course. And even though the animatronics are help, it does also help that he was given so much personality by, of all people, Howie Mandel.
Yeah, the voices... Who did the voice of the Gremlins?
That was a combination of... I know Frank Welker was...
Frank Welker
definitely had a hand in the voice of the Gremlins.
They put a lot of effort into the voices of the creatures, both Gizmo and the Gremlins themselves, to give them personality.
Yeah.
Like, that's... I mean, they're funny as hell, like, what they do. I mean, especially by the second one where you have much more advanced tech, so you can get more out of the animatronics. But
yeah, and that's a whole other story in and of itself. The first film, though, was the creatures were all done by Chris Wallace, who would later on actually direct The Fly 2. But very talented guy, and did some incredible work with the Gremlins alone. But the real trial, funny enough, most people, you'd never think it. You think Gizmo's like a big glorified hand puppet, but no. He was actually the most difficult prop to use, and a lot of it was because just a lot of the inner mechanics just had never been done before.
Well, I mean, there's so many scenes of a close-up of him and his reactions to things. Like, they close up on Gizmo all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jesus.
It's crazy.
They close up on him more than the Gremlins.
Yeah. And there's so many notes of articulation just in his face alone that it was just insane.
Yeah, I could see why they'd be like, God damn.
Yeah, legend has it that there were points like when you heard a big, everyone knew fucking Gizmo broke down.
Yeah, he was the diva of the show. It wasn't Stripe. It wasn't the other Gremlins. It was Gizmo. He was being a little bitch.
Oh yeah, it was all about Gizmo. Now, but. Interestingly enough, because as we previously stated, the original script for the movie was way darker. It was much more sinister. Gizmo was supposed to be the big bad.
He becomes a gremlin or something?
Yeah, no, he was the one who was going to
he would have been Stripe.
He would have been Stripe for all intents and purposes. And but it was by the stage-like advice by Steven Spielberg, and Joe Dante still thanks him to this very day, saying that it was his recommendation that, no, this needs to be a film about a boy and his pet kind of thing.
See, Spielberg, whenever he says that to a director, suddenly the movie's better.
Transformers.
I was just about to say Transformers.
Transformers, that's exactly what he said.
He's about a boy in his car. Like, just keep it there. And
listen to Spielberg.
But the thing is, one, it is good that Gizmo stays good and helps against the Gremlins, because you also have that contrast. But you also have Stripe, where you kind of see how they can be just nasty from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
He's a little shit as a Mogwai.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the other beautiful thing about the prequel series, Secrets of the Mogwai, is that it actually does show Gizmo is way older than you think. He's been around... Been around for a while. Nice. Yeah, exactly. So he's been through some shit, so he's way older and way wiser.
He also had a deep connection. Like, I really liked the prequel series gave more context to his relationship with
Mr. Wing.
Mr. Wing, like, it's not, Mr. Wing just had him in a box. No, they've been friends for decades.
And they've seen some shit. Yeah.
Like, clearly, maybe Gizmo, he kept him in the box just to keep Gizmo safe, and Gizmo don't care. Like, the only thing it is later in the second one is that Mr. Wing doesn't like Gizmo watching TV, and Gizmo really loves television.
Yeah. Gizmo loves TV.
He does love
TV. Well, it was interesting that Gizmo seemed to know about Rambo, even though I don't recall Billy ever showing Gizmo.
Just off screen he was watching it or something.
Yeah, no,
or he saw a picture or something and just went, yeah, and he took that to heart.
Yeah, Billy had taste. He was showing Gizmo Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and the like, so...
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you could go, when did he even watch that? Maybe he snuck a tape, when Mr. Wing wasn't looking.
Must have.
It was like on TV or something.
Something like that. Oh, I don't know.
But reason why we're even talking about Gremlins is, of course, the first film is set in Christmas.
Oh, it's absolutely a Christmas movie.
He's a Christmas present, that's why.
Yeah, Christmas completely motivates this plot. Christmas is everywhere in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You've even got the carolers. Gremlins.
Yeah, Caroler Gremlins.
I'd like to know, where did they get their little carol books and their little scarves and hats? Like, they are all decked out.
Well, earlier in a scene with Billy and Kate, you do see carolers outside another house.
Oh, they probably kicked their ass.
And stole.
I love the idea that they kicked their ass and stole all their clothes and their stuff. I'm like,
I totally buy it.
Like, which gremlin came up with the idea? Let's do this. We're going to do this.
Let's troll this bitch. We're just
gonna make sure you get the books.
Yeah.
And apparently they can read because they learned the song.
Yeah, they did. Actually, when you hear them outside, I think they were singing like.
Oh, they're singing. They know the song, so it's like, wait, did they just read the carols? Because they were just born, they wouldn't know it. They read the book. And went, how about this song? This one's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Well, I actually feel comfortable because in this podcast we will also be going into Gremlins 2, just for the simple fact that honestly we also just want to talk about Gremlins 2 and how awesome it is.
It's a great companion film to the first one.
It really is, but honestly it does kind of go hand in hand, because one thing Mr. Wing does say to Billy at the very end of the movie is that, you don't take responsibility for all of nature's gifts.
Yeah.
And honestly, Gremlins 2 kind of helps punctuate that point, because you see just the full-blown extremism of mass consumerism, and everything like that, and just you see the commodification.
What is it Clamp says, like, when you build a place for things like for monstrosity or creatures, that's what that comes, or something like that, when he criticizes his own building because it was so automated and so lifeless, and that the Gremlins just did great in there.
Yeah, they exploited the machine and turned it into a monster.
Yeah,
for all intents and purposes.
Like, I say that's the most unbelievable. Everything in the movie is 100% believable. The Gremlins, the science project.
We could buy all that.
The part I couldn't buy was that Clamp actually has a soul and actually helps and realizes he's wrong. I was like, that happened a minute.
Well, especially when you take into account
who
that
they were mocking with the character.
Oh yeah, we're getting political in this bitch, but yeah,
there's
is so blatantly clear that Daniel Clamp is based on Trump.
Especially, from the 90s, mind you. This is New York, my 90s version.
Well, New York has always hated Trump.
But
Clamp Center, now, It was kind of meant to be. It was totally a parody, even down to the fact that Clamp Center, the main lobby, was silver because anyone who's been to Trump Tower knows that.
Or the White House.
Or the White House now, for that matter. Of course, that's just because he pissed on all of it. But yeah, the whole thing is just like gold. So they did the whole Clamp Center done all silver, and even more so, even funnier is that when you see the pile of Clamp's books, I Took Manhattan, it's done exactly in the same font as Art of the Deal.
Yeah, it's like if you know, you know. If you don't, it still works, but there is so much commentary about mass consumerism, the shallow nature of media.
Also the obsession with quote-unquote progress. I mean, they even took some jabs at Ted Turner in the second movie.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Because at that time, Ted Turner had this obsession with colorizing everything, which...
y'all young people out there don't understand this, but back in the day, people would not watch black and white. That's not true, but whatever. So Ted Turner was like, let's colorize everything. It made them, it was horrible.
It looked awful.
Like, black and white films exist to be black and white. They should not have color. And this would be like puke colors. And
or piss colors.
Sickly
colors.
They're like all pastels, and it just took out all the shadows, and it would just look bad. And sometimes you don't want to know what the real color ever was, because fun fact, because it was always shot to be in black and white, they'd have to do extreme color so you get the gradient in the grays and the contrast. So sometimes things were the weirdest colors.
Yeah.
Like, actually, fun fact is the Munsters' living room was actually pink.
Yeah, I think the Addams Family's as well.
Yeah, because they needed to get that correct shade of gray, black and white. And that makes sense. But, like, you wouldn't want to colorize that.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, shit, it looks like shit.
So between both movies kind of tackle this idea of everyone's kind of obsession with technology and also just, innovation, progress. I mean, even Billy's dad, played by folk singer Hoyt Axton, his whole thing is that he's an inventor, always trying to, like, simplify things, which really don't...
He simplifies it, but makes it more complicated.
And I'm going to say it, the bathroom buddy is not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. It's clunky as fuck. Where would you put that? It also, like, some aspects just made no sense. Like, I don't need projectile toothpaste.
I don't need a dental mirror.
Yeah, what are you doing?
What do you do? Well, I mean, what I can see is, like, maybe have a little compartment for a small travel thing of toothpaste that you just take out.
Well, you know what it's called? It's called a fucking Swiss Army knife.
That is also true.
Or, like, why would you have your razor attached to the thing? Like, I'm just thinking, like, how do you go shave your legs? I mean, I'm thinking for a woman, men, if you want to shave your legs. But, like, the thing is a chunk, so it's hanging off here. So what, you, like, holding it like a, what are you doing? Like, it's super easy just to have a little baggie. You put your shit in it.
Yeah, and I do feel bad for Billy and his family because you can tell his dad...
He's got to put up with this shit.
He's got to put up with the shit, and his dad is not a bad guy.
No.
It's just, and he always seems to do things with the best of intentions, but he's woefully clueless,
dude.
Like
the second he gives Billy Gizmo, does not go, by the way, we have 3 rules. Don't fucking break them. Of course, he should have been nice. Why are the rules, like, what's the basis for the rules? So I know how serious they are. Like, don't tell me, don't give it water, don't get it wet. Okay, well, why? Just because I'd like to know what happens. Oh, it will breathe like a motherfucker. Okay, no.
The kid who stole it from.
He does say sunlight will kill them.
Yeah,
so he says like the extreme levels of light, but he does not say, well, why the water and why not
feed him after midnight?
Like, that's weird. Why? What happens?
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be like, it turns into an evil monster and it will attack you. Okay, well, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I'm actually, above all, the one I'm going to blame above all, I think, is that kid who works Mr. Wing's shop. Now, I mean, he says that, no, we need the money, but it's like, I'm pretty sure Mr. Wing would have told you the rules.
Beat that child so hard.
Oh, I hope he did.
That kid got whooped.
Well, we didn't see that kid again in Gremlins 2, so what happened to him?
You shipped him back. Fuck you, kid. You caused this shit. Well, he knew where Billy was, so the kid had to have eventually...
Oh, no, it's because Graham Peltzer gave him his card.
Yeah, but how would he have known to contact them? Like, how would he know? He got the card, yes. How would he have known that?
Because the kid probably would have said,
"Where the heck?" I gave it to that guy. Fuck, I gotta go there.
Beyond that, he was the only other person who could have known about Gizmo.
But he probably knew the kid probably did it.
Oh yeah, he absolutely
did. That kid.
Probably whooped that kid hard, sent him back to China.
No. He's like, all right, kid, we'll talk later. Comes back bam! You know what the fuck happened in that town?
Yeah.
You could get a lawsuit.
It's like, do you realize, what happened when, back in China and Shanghai when me and a ragamuffin friend of mine all encountered a freaking wizard? It's like, oh, you don't believe all that shit, do you?
Oh, now you don't believe
Now
me.
you don't believe me.
Wow,
Okay, fine. Yeah, so, but again, it was not Billy's fault either that Gizmo got wet. It was Corey Feldman's fault.
I mean, I would be like, why you had to, like, I wouldn't keep him so far away from all water, but it was Corey Feldman. But also, Corey Feldman needed a slapping, because he's like, you got wet, and he's like, I would be like, bam, get the hell out of my room.
You
little brat.
Well, it's like right after he's like gushing over Gizmo, then all of a sudden the other ones come out, and right when one of them bites at Corey Feldman, or Pete is the kid's name, he just like, oh, well, okay, they're great, and then just goes up to the bed and just like, it's like,
I would
asshole.
Yeah, I'd be like, you caused this shit.
Yeah,
you're gonna fix it.
Yeah. Oh no, you were gonna we're gonna make you take that one home.
Yeah, and I think that was Stripe too.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't Stripe.
It wasn't Stripe. It was just one of them. No, they were all mean little nasty little fuckers.
The catch, and this is where the second one kind of does a better job, is aside from Stripe, the rest just the Gremlins. They all look alike. They're all the same. The second one, they were like, now we're going to make every Gremlin have a sense of purpose. Especially when they're like the little Mogwai, you can tell all 5 of them.
Yeah, there were 4 that came out of Gizmo.
4, you can tell all 4, and when they're a gremlin, you know which one was a gremlin.
Yeah, I think one Daffy, Lenny, I forget the other one's name.
Mohawk.
Well, Mohawk was the
he's the leader
of that group. But I remember there was a 4th one, but they opted to give them all crazier personalities.
Well, you had the hyperactive one.
Yeah, that was I think it was Daffy. I think that was his name.
Yeah, he's charged up on something. I don't know what.
Yeah. Oh man.
I like it when. I'm sorry, I'm just jumping to the second movie. So when they're like, "Oh, go get Gizmo," and she like thinks that's Gizmo, and I'm like, I mean, I know it's been a few years.
Some years, and also she wasn't there when he multiplied. So for all intents and purposes,
well, no, but like Gizmo never acted that way in any capacity whatsoever.
Probably got she probably assumed he got into the company coffee.
Oh yeah, he
probably got it. Yeah, he probably over caffeinated.
That poor thing's eyes look like it would shoot out of his face.
So, but I suppose it's okay that the other ones in the first one didn't have much personality, because one of the best sequences in the first movie, no question, is when Mrs. Peltzer lays waste to.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so why invest time giving a personality when Mrs. Peltzer's gonna fucking slay their asses?
They didn't. They also probably weren't looking at the Gremlins for the personality. Like that was more of an idea that came in the second, definitely on the second.
Oh, absolutely in the second one.
But it's more like by the second one, they knew what people wanted. They wanted the Gremlins and they wanted Gizmo. So it's like, okay, well, let's give them more personality because that's what people want, and that is what people wanted.
Yeah.
That is the best part of the second one, is the Gremlins are way more entertaining.
Yeah, I know Joe Dante to this day still says Gremlins 1, for as rewarding as the outcome was of making that movie, he said it was a nightmare experience to make. And a lot of it was studios breathing down his neck. Fortunately, Spielberg had his back in a lot of respects, but even then, just on the technical level, it got to the point that when they were doing the big montage at Dory's Tavern, which I think was the last sequence they filmed for the movie, he just said, you know what, fuck it, and he told like most of the crew, just do whatever you want, just film whatever crazy ideas that you have in mind. And I think all of it made it into the movie. I
mean, a lot of it, like the tonal, where there's some just being weird, but then you have the one being like Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah, doing the Humphrey Bogart, like, which
it's so crazy, but you can kind of see like what would a bunch of unhinged individuals just were doing if they had nothing to hold back, like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that was all of Gremlins 2 was, what do you want to do? Let's just do it.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we're good. Yeah,
we gotta
mention that Key and Peele sketch.
You talking about a gremlin with glasses who could talk and sing New York, New York? That's brilliant. It's in the movie done.
I mean, it's so true.
It was so true.
It's just like, I remember, the thing is, as a kid, I never actually watched the first one that often. It was the second one I watched as a kid.
It really was.
And it was because the Gremlins were so darn funny.
Yeah.
And like, they still were scary at times. I mean,
they're still
Mohawk
dangerous.
Is still nasty. He's a nasty, nasty guy.
Mohawk's a sadist, man.
Oh, he's like, well, when he looks cool as hell.
Yeah, well, and he spends the bulk of the movie torturing Gizmo.
Oh yeah, he's just beating on Gizmo, and which actually adds to why Gizmo targets him.
Oh, yeah.
Which is actually kind of awesome that he's also not the lead, he is the leader of the group, but he's not like Stripe where he's the final boss.
Yeah.
They do a much more interesting way about that. And then we can never say hold back our love for Brain Gremlin.
Oh, yeah. Played by the voice of Tony Randall. I believe he was Felix in the Odd Couple series. Yeah. I want to talk about you, about everything that's happening in this room.
They just go, but I love how his voice translates from Gremlin into that, and he just goes for it, and just everything out of him is funny as hell.
Yeah, and a lot of that came about because Joe Dante. Actually, someone made a wonderful point. Actually, I was talking with a friend yesterday about Joker Folie à Deux, and a lot of it was because of the fact that Todd Phillips, Joaquin Phoenix, none of them wanted to come back to make this movie, and the studio kept throwing money at him to make it.
Fuck it, we're going to do what we want.
Exactly.
I mean,
and that is literally what happened with Joe Dante. He did not want to come back to make Gremlins 2 because he had a bitch of a time making the first one. So, but no one else wanted to tackle the project, so they kept throwing money, and they gave Joe Dante full control.
And it's like, full control.
Oh, really?
And I mean, I'll be honest though, I'm all for his full control because it's just so entertaining. I feel like he got all the stuff that was very fun in the first one and just went full blown in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's known that Joe Dante does have a sincere love of, especially about Looney Tunes, especially of a particular type of comedy. Funny enough, the whole origin of Gremlins, I mean, I'm trying to figure out where precisely they came from, but I remember actually Looney Tunes cartoons. I think Gremlins were a thing in that. I mean, I have to dig deeper, but I think Gremlins...
I think it's something about airplanes. Like, it was what explained... They were like creatures...
Futterman actually does talk about this.
Yeah, that they were like these little creatures that, like during World War II or whatnot, if there was problems with your plane, it would be the Gremlins. Mm-hmm. And they were like little creatures that would get on your... I guess you could argue the creature on the wing from
Twilight Zone
was a gremlin.
Well, recently, Chloe Grace Moretz was in a movie called, I think, Shadow in the Clouds, which was all about that.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was always the concept of something that would ruin the machinery.
Yeah.
It was always machinery that it would mess with.
Yeah, and that was always the fascinating thing about Gremlins, is that they always seemed to have this preternatural understanding of technology or mechanics, and they would just be able to sabotage everything.
Yeah, they were actually really smart with that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the first one, you see one sabotaging the traffic lights. You see him messing with Mr. Futterman's antenna.
They rewired What's-Her-Face's chair to freaking go nuclear.
One of the best freaking deaths of all time.
Yeah, that was very satisfying.
No, that's how you... Joe Bob Briggs has famously said, to do great comedy horror, it's 20% comedy, 80% horror. This is... I think in the case, especially in the first one, I really do think they were able to hold on to the horror just enough, but the comedy never got diluted or anything like that. The comedy is still very much there.
They busted out the horror when they needed to. Like, the whole sequence with the mother in the kitchen, that is horror. That's not
pure
funny.
Horror. Yeah. I mean, Gremlin gets decapitated.
The teacher.
Yeah,
that's horror. And I mean, when you see, like, the chaos that these things are creating, like, it's funny, but it's also, like, you'll have their shenanigans, but you also see them, like, attacking people and probably killing them. You know, like, there is a balance between the two. I would say it's more 50-50, but also it being a PG movie and, like, meant for families, you can kind of give it the leeway of, okay, 50-50, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Like, if you were more rated R, yeah, you gotta be 80-20, you know?
Yeah, something like that.
But when you're, like, trying to go for the adults. But I think if it's a family film or a film that can be for smaller children, like, I'm saying, like, 8 to 10, you know, 8 to 11, I think 50-50 on horror to comedy. It's like Monster Squad. You know, there's a couple of scenes where there's a couple parts that are pretty scary, but then Wolfman's got nards. You know, like, you get your balance.
I think that might be the other reason why we gravitated Gremlins 2 a bit more in our youth, because that one, I would say, you could easily put that one in front of a kid a lot more often. And in my opinion, you could, because there's a lot more cartoony mischief. Yes, granted, Robert Picardo does get filleted at the end by Greta Gremlin, but
lipstick, boobies, bitch, you have me and little gremlin but JJ. I love it so much that it's not only in the movie, but it's definitely in the movie. There's no backsies on that one, no penny taxis. Yes, in the movie, done. That's why we need a woman in the writer's room.
That's off screen.
That's not. No, she was trying to kiss him.
She already got the kisses in at the end of the movie. I think
she was kissing. No. She had her wedding dress on. So she wanted to get married. So she was all about the nuptials, and he just kind of shrugged with.
I just love at the end. He's like going, "I'm not going to do better than this." All right.
I mean, yeah, I think that was. But she wanted to get married. She was upset because he wouldn't commit.
Yeah,
That's why she kept screaming.
Why can't you
commit?
Don't be afraid of what you feel.
No, at the very end, she's wearing her wedding dress.
Yeah.
And she wants to get married.
I even love you hearing the Gremlins.
Yeah. No, my favorite. The Gremlins are also freaking little trolls because when what's her face is in the elevator and she's like, sound alarm, and I'm like. Fuck you guys. Fuck you.
Oh, yeah. So with the talk about this third movie coming out, I mean, I am hoping Zach Galligan comes back, but I don't know if we're going to get Phoebe Cates because I know she's retired. I think she's truly retired. I don't know if she's ever coming back.
Rick Moranis is coming back for Spaceballs too.
And it is possible. That is true. It is possible.
What was it? The actor who played Terry Silver. He long time ago retired from acting, and he came back for Cobra Kai
and actually ended up becoming one of the best things about Cobra Kai.
Yeah, dude.
So anything's possible. So fingers crossed for Phoebe Cates. Actually,
pending whatever the story is.
Let's go ahead and focus on Billy as a character. I mean, Zach Galligan, of course, conveys the great everyday, all-American boy attitude. But there's been talk about, bland hero characters, like in terms of how they're written and whether or not they're interesting characters. I mean, on paper, you could file Billy under that because technically he really doesn't have that much of a personality. All you really know is just what he deals with on a daily basis with his family. So what is it? This is, I think, a case where an actor elevates what's not there on page, because I think Zach Galligan's a major reason why Billy is such an appealing character.
I think it's how he portrayed the character, because I don't think he's not interesting, because there's a lot going on in his life, a lot, but also how he reacts to things. He's not weird at, when the Gremlins come out, he's concerned, but he's not freaking out. He's taking it seriously. Actually, I think one of my favorite parts is when they see that the Gremlins are watching Snow White, and he's actually and they love it. Let's just, because that is something that would be very weird. These monstrous little creatures who are causing chaos throughout the entire town, they're all sitting down and singing along to Hi-Ho.
Yeah.
And you're like...
Of all things.
What? It's just... And by the second movie, he's a bit clueless about obvious things that are going on, with that one chick, that sexual...
with Marla,
that very obvious sexual harassment lawsuit that he should be filing away.
But that being said, goddamn, I love Marla as a character. She's a fun-ass character.
She's a funny as hell character, but oh my god, sexual lawsuit.
Oh, man.
He's, he is blind as a bat on that one, but I also feel like his character would be blind to stuff like that.
They do actually kind of address the fact that him and Kate are small town people going into New York City, and they actually, when you first see them, they're walking down Times Square and just having a hard time just navigating the streets even, and just saying people are here so rude, and it's because you're from Kingston Falls and these people are New Yorkers.
Oh no, I will say, the one time I ever walked around New York, and it was through the main area, the Midtown and all that, there is a certain way New Yorkers walk. I respect it 100%. I'm getting from A to B, get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah.
Don't bother me, just keep going. You get that mentality, you're in. But if you were living in a little small town where everyone goes, hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
It would be a massive mental... I wonder how long they've been working there, because clearly they had jobs already, and it wasn't...
Yeah. Well, it's kind of cool that
I got a vibe that at least they've been there for a few months. They should start acclimatizing, but... Yeah,
definitely. I would say at maximum probably a year.
I'd just be a little surprised that they haven't acclimatized at least somewhat, but I guess I never grew up in a small town, so I don't know how ingrained that could be into a person.
Yeah.
Because, I've lived in, standard-sized cities, not New York, but...
Yeah.
So walking around New York, I was like... Got it, I know how to walk with y'all.
Exactly, whereas Kingston Falls is that town where everyone knows each other.
Oh, God.
Which eagle-eyed film fans will notice that the main square of Kingston Falls is the same main square as used in Back to the Future.
Yeah, in certain angles you can see the clock tower.
You absolutely can, and I'm wondering, because Back to the Future was also a Spielberg-backed project, I'm wondering if he was fully. I think he probably communicated to Robert Zemeckis about, this square is going to use for this movie too. So let's try to make sure we trick the angles so people are.
Yeah, you can't unless you know it doesn't look the same because they do dress it up pretty well differently.
Oh yeah,
it does not look like a California town.
It does actually help that Gremlins takes place, with snow. So they dress it up with snow to kind of help hide a lot of that. But actually, that's another thing I dig is the way they portray winter in that community, man. They just, again, because it's on the back lot, it's very clearly on the Warner Brothers back lot, which we've been to. And I think we've seen long time ago, but we actually saw a lot of those streets. I think we saw the street where Elvira's house was.
We saw the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, which incidentally I think was the house where Fright Night was filmed. So yeah, we saw the way they did that, but it's great to do that on the back lot because you can have a controlled environment where you can control the elements and not have to deal with
especially if you got on the Gremlins and stuff, you don't want to be out in...
Precisely, but even then they still use stop motion whenever they could. I will say the one.
That's like the one big shot that they do the stop motion. They don't really do much otherwise.
Yeah, but the shot I would say in the movie that I'm still in awe of is I think it's like to me it's like right next to like one of the final shots in the Muppet movie where you see like all the Muppets all together. But it's the shot in the movie theater where you're just seeing all the way to the back of the theater.
Oh
just
yeah,
all
how
the
many
Gremlins.
people are under those darn things just waving them
so
around,
amazing.
trying to keep them going? You know.
Yeah, no, Chris Wallace, to his credit, the man did an incredible job, and his name tends to get lost in the hubbub because the second one, Rick Baker took over.
Yeah, and he designed his own Gremlins, so they have the distinctions.
Yeah, that was part of the reason why he joined the project, was because he wanted to. Well, he was timid because he respected Chris Wallace, but Joe Dante said, "Well, if we give you full reign to design any kind of Gremlin you want, God bless." And a lot of the Gremlins that ended up in the movie came about because Rick Baker.
Well, the one thing is that he did give them all different looks. Like, I mean, you had the generic ones. They're just like the miscellaneous ones that are all over the place. Because these suckers, they multiply 10 times more than the first film.
Oh, they absolutely did.
They get way more numbers. But you then have the mutated ones, I guess you'd call them.
Yeah.
Where they get into a science lab and you get let's all the different Gremlins, let's do
Such
this.
a great way to give us that variety is to have the Splice of Life genetics lab. I will say this flat out. I love Clamp Center. I just love the weird ass variety of this place.
They have some weird shit in that building.
But the fact they have, in the midst of a TV studio, they've got a genetics laboratory where they're doing like mad scientist shit.
Where Christopher Lee is the lead scientist.
Yes.
For some reason.
Oh yeah. Well.
Oh no.
We know why. It's because and I said this previously. He kind of did it as an apology to Joe Dante for doing Howling 2, which you don't have to apologize, sir. You don't have to.
He still goes for it. But that's where you get Greta.
Yeah.
The female gremlin.
You even get a great bit with a back gremlin.
You mean a gremlin with leathery wings just flying around, flip-flopping, bust through a wall, make a perfect bat symbol in the wall, get outside, get in some wet concrete, jump up on a building and just dry in place like a gargoyle?
Where they have to do the Batman joke.
Oh, yeah, well, because around this time, Batman had come out, and it was a massive hit for Warner Brothers.
So they're like, all right, let's do this. Of course, Mohawk becomes this giant spider.
A gremlin with 8 legs and a thorax just catching pretty ladies in a web in an office building. Oh my God, it's in the movie. I love it.
Yeah,
let's make
which, that's metal to me. I mean, I do love me. Anyone knows I love my giant spiders, but to make a gremlin a giant spider.
But then you have like the rando. You have the one that gets
vegetable
gremlin.
The vegetable medley.
Then you have the one that gets acid thrown in his face and he puts a Phantom of the Opera mask,
which he just happens to have like right in
that
moment.
Yeah, he happens to have it on him already.
And then of course Greta Gremlin. She became an icon, actually.
She's an icon now, but like it's Greta.
There's not a spooky empire that goes by that I don't see someone cosplaying Greta Gremlin in some capacity. Actually, I think our friend Meg even did Greta at one point.
Greta. Yeah. But Greta is she's actually one of the nicer gremlins. Like when you say like she's aggressive if she likes you, but she's not mean like the others.
Yeah,
like
definitely
even
not.
Brain Gremlin, as smart as he is, he will still shoot you.
That being said, though, I still wish he lived. I
kind of do.
I kind of wish. Oh no, I would have loved to have seen like a post credits where he's running the White House. I mean, I would have totally.
I think it would be an improvement.
It would be an improvement. Even in the '80s, it would have been an improvement.
It was the '90s when that movie came out.
Yeah.
Actually, no. He would have done better than Bush.
He still would have done better than HW.
Well, he was O's.
Yeah, that. Well, no, W was the O's. HW was the.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, that took me forever to like make that differentiation. So don't feel bad.
I always remember which one threw up on the Queen or something.
Yeah, it was the Japanese. It was the Japanese Prime Minister. Yeah,
that was HW.
Yeah, that was HW. As that was parodied in Hot Shots Part D.
That's how I know about it.
Yeah, that's how anyone knows about it now.
Yeah, but.
Man, the shit.
He was sick. It was not his fault. He just did.
Oh God, the shit that's gonna come out, especially about the amount of blowjob jokes that have already come out recently. Oh my God.
God, I feel like it's the fucking 90s.
they just redefined Haktua in like so many different ways. It was kind of amazing.
You know, whatever the internet's gonna do, it does.
And you know what? This is the one time I'm happy they did. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All the Gremlins.
All the Gremlins. And. Actually, one mainstay throughout both the movies is the Futtermans.
We don't know how that's possible. They really look like they were almost taken out in the.
Well, there's even a great insert shot when they're advancing on the Futtermans, and there's a shot of the Gremlins, and the snowplow bumps, which indicates to me that they just ran their asses over.
Yeah, it really sells it because you never see them again.
But I guess when it comes to Joe Dante, it's like I guess Dick Miller is.
Actually, you know what would have been funny is if they hit the corner of the room and they can't go any further because of how the building's built, and so they can't get them, so they climb out and
you know what would have been funny? It would have been because the house is made of foreign materials, and that would just
something
piss,
like that.
That would just be just to piss off Mr. Futterman, because there is some deep-seated racism going on with Mr. Futterman.
He is a racist little dude.
Yeah, so many times, but I do love that they keep like haunting him with like all these. I love the part where he's flipping channels when the Gremlins are messing with it, and it keeps flipping over to subtitled foreign films, and he's just like.
Again, it's like the Gremlins are just fucking with people, like 90% of the time, fucking with people.
Yeah, just people who just need to be fucked with in one way or another. The one that I'm kind of astonished. Well. And I think a lot of it, I think in early drafts of the script of Gremlins 2, Daniel Clamp was supposed to be what you think he is, like supposed to be like
a horrible
CEO person. Type, but unfortunately, and a lot of it had to do with the performance of John Glover. Apparently, John Glover just played the character so damn likable.
He is. That's a damn shame. He is. Likable.
But they still do a great job talking about the distance of a CEO compared to everything that happens under him, because so many times he's like sitting up in his office, he's just going, you know what? Let's type some memos. And he's like...
Yeah, they definitely play up the detached mentality of a CEO versus reality. He just was not a malicious, cold person. He actually did care. He just, for some reason, was just mentally detached from the world.
Yeah.
I mean, when he actually has to take out a gremlin, which is a great scene. Where
it's an amazing scene, and with a shredder. Oh, it's so good.
Well, the funniest part is that the gremlin gets rid of the secretary by putting a mousetrap in her sandwich, which she's out. The gremlin takes her sweater, puts it around his shoulders, and starts taping on the machine. And it's singing along, and he comes out and then tries to throw coffee at him.
Yeah, it's coffee.
Yeah, like what? What is your game here?
Yeah, and Clamp has no idea what the fuck's going on at this point, but
he doesn't know about them.
He takes to it like pretty damn well.
Oh no, he fights the thing and kills it. But
yeah. But there is something that is kind of, and I'm really happy that they went this route, especially in his relationship with Billy, because Billy, unfortunately, is already dealing with a lot of shit in Clamp Center, because of course no one believes. Oh, of course with the. All right, we do have to address one thing about Gremlins 2, the meta angle. Now, after the first movie came out, so many people were poking holes in the 3 rules, specifically the don't feed them after midnight, talking about,
what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean in terms of like the lunar configuration, in terms of like, what if it's daylight savings time? What about that whole shit?
When does after midnight end?
Yeah.
Like when the sun comes up? Like, what's the time frame not to feed them after midnight? Or is it for only 1 hour after midnight?
Yeah, you kind of just file it under who gives a fuck. But in Gremlins 2, they do so many things as a wonderful big fuck you to everyone who criticized the first movie. Another one I'll mention later. But there's a great bit where Billy's trying to reason with security, and everyone's like poking fun at the rules.
Well, they're poking fun at that rule. Like the sunlight and the bright light valid, it kills them.
Yeah.
Water. Okay, well, there was the question, it's never asked in the second movie, but like stripes in snow. Snow is water.
What about the wetness, Joe?
What about the wetness? And it's like...
Sorry, Dead Meat, I had to quote you. That's still one of my favorite lines.
I figure it has to be actual water, not a frozen format. It has to be actual
Yeah,
water.
it has to be like pure water. Like
I always figured that was the difference.
Yeah.
But...
I think it's also pure unfiltered water. Because, I mean, snow is basically is dirty as hell.
No, they went into a pool and that worked. And that's chlorinated water.
That's fair.
So I figured it had to be like liquid water. That's the requirement.
Yeah, I think in the end. Well, because they were drinking beer and and
there's water in beer.
Yeah, there's water in beer. So
but
I
feel
think
like it has to
is.
be actual like literal water. So
that's a good point.
But
So there we go.
But it's the big after midnight part, and so they're all picking on it, making up. What about if he was in a plane and it went over this time zone and
yeah,
and then Mohawk
just bursts
busts out and takes a big chomp out of one of them. And
chomps at one, but I love the other thing. He just freaking does a nice hook and just decks the dude.
Like Mohawk, he's just like, shut the hell
Yeah,
up.
Mohawk is a big old ball of shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he bites one and right hooks the other. And I'm like...
It was amazing.
All right, movie.
Yeah.
And you also get that great shot of him. Like, it's one of the best full body shots. Is when Mohawk appears. I think that's the first time you actually see Mohawk in full
gremlin mode. I think it is. Yeah, I think you're right.
Because you've seen the others messing around, but you hadn't seen him yet.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think that was his.
Yeah, there was a really good
reveal.
Villain. Yeah, really good villain reveal moment. Oh yeah, so good. But then the other moment of meta, and my respect for this man has always been like iffy. But
I don't agree with a lot of his.
I don't agree with a lot of his reviews. I mean, as enjoyable as Laser Blast is, I don't think it deserved the rating you gave it.
No.
But he did not care for the first Gremlins movie. He considered it to be mean-spirited. He considered it, basically all the criticism was levied towards it by pearl-clutching moralists. He kind of said the same. But he still had enough of a sense of humor to show up in this movie to poke fun at the first
Gremlins.
And get attacked by gremlins. And you hear her going like, no, it's a recommend. It's a recommend. Ah!
Yeah. I'm like, all right, you're having a good sense of humor, but fine.
Yeah. It's like, okay, you got a sense of humor. That's fine. All right. I mean, I have disdain for most critics, but I will say when a critic has a sense of humor about themselves.
I will say, looking at some of these old school critics, like Siskel and Ebert and sometimes some of the rants they go on, like I get if you don't like a movie. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You can say whatever reasons, but when they get almost like personal and they start levying like intent from films that is complete bullshit, I am always like they're trying to use more purity.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this movie is just for sick people to watch because they just want to watch people die. So I was thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like.
It's like, you mean to tell me, and also, don't give me that shit. Don't tell me that there are times where you go through your day and there's someone you hate so damn much that you want to see like horrible things happen to them. I'm sorry. Sometimes in a horror movie, there are going to be characters where you're like, please, love of God, die. You know?
Yeah, but it's not like... It's almost like an insult to the people who enjoy the films or who make them. It's like, you don't have to insult the people to... Or, like how... was it Saturday Night Deadly Night? They were like, shame on you for making this movie, this horrible, mean-spirited, sick movie. And I'm like, shame on you for being a judgmental dick.
Yeah.
Like, they just made a movie.
Yeah, don't watch it.
They wanted to make a movie to make money. Okay. Yeah, that's it.
Everyone makes movie to make money.
They're gonna make money.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're not trying to say anything. They're just like, hey, honestly, not as bad as a lot of other stuff out there.
Right.
And it's like, why are you like personally attacking fans of it or people who enjoy those type of movies or the people who make it? And I always feel like that's when a critic fails the most. You can totally not like a film because of whatever, the plot's bad, the writing's bad, blah, blah, blah. But when you start attacking the creators or the people who enjoy it,
that's when you're out. That's when you're done.
I mean, like I will say I don't agree with saying like Gremlins is mean-spirited. I mean, like the Gremlins are mean.
Yeah, the Gremlins themselves are mean. Yeah, but the rest of the characters, like the human characters, are actually very sincere and very endearing.
Like,
I mean, I can't believe it took this long for us to talk about it. Well, we got to talk about the most epic monologue of all time.
Both of them?
Well, the one that...
The second one's more of a parody.
As a testament to the meta attitude of the second film, in response to the first film, because one criticism levied against, even the people who like the movie, one criticism...
It does come out of nowhere. I don't know why it's there.
Well, a lot of it is because they do set up one thing about Kate is that she doesn't like Christmas. In that sweet scene with Billy and
right,
Kate,
but like, there's no argument that you have to explain. Like, I don't feel like that needs to be explained. People don't like Christmas for lots of reasons, but they go dark for why
as
she don't
dark
like
as you
it.
fucking get.
Like, and the thing is, it does, like, the energy of the movie stops completely to have that monologue, which makes it more focused on, and it doesn't go anywhere. It just merely explains why she doesn't like Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, honey, if you didn't like Christmas before, you're going to hate it now.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
like,
what she even says, actually, the whole thing kicks off that monologue. She says, well, now I have another reason to hate Christmas.
Right, and I'm like, okay, well, they got two reasons there.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I will say the finding your dead dad 5 days after Christmas when
where he tried to dress like Santa and he went down the chimney and died.
Yeah, that's
fucked up. I honestly, I think the Gremlins are a step up.
The Gremlins are a step up.
You defeat them at least.
Yeah, at least you got that going for you, which is nice. But
and
yeah,
you grew closer.
Yeah, you did. You actually grew closer with Billy. And you found your self-worth and your confidence to be able to survive, so you can move to New York. Bright side, right there.
But yeah, that is always a special moment of the fuck.
Yeah, which is why in Gremlins 2, they just out of the blue have her like, don't
one.
mention Lincoln, and then she mentions like there was something horror, which that's the time.
That one can go in either direction, where it's totally harmless, or it's very sinister.
There's implications that I think they're alluding to the fact that she may have gotten flashed.
No, they don't say that. We don't know what the fuck goes on. Like, it's so very vague. We don't know.
Yeah, oh no, they cut her off like right before.
Yeah, they're like, we don't.
Well, Billy's even like, honey, we don't have time for this right now.
Yeah, like we don't know what the hell. It's so vague, and then it gets cut off, so you don't know where it was gonna go.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of reminded me. I have a memory that's not like it matches up in the sense of like an adult who says they're. So I got stung by a jellyfish when I was a little child. At a beach, stung by a jellyfish, and it turned out a lot of people. I was not local to the area, but a lot of people were, and they actually had bottles of ammonia. That's what you need to help with the pain, is a bottle of ammonia. So a lot of people actually had those on hand. And this guy came up, and I was with my family, so they didn't have any ammonia. And so they came up, and he came up, and he's like, hey, I'm he literally says, I'm Superman, and I'm going to help you. And he told my parents, like, I knew that it was the ammonia. Like, later as a child, I was like, are you Superman? Like, I think he even said, where's your cape? But he actually had the ammonia, so it helped me out, because it had gotten me on the leg.
Okay.
So, but I remember, like, this guy who said he was Superman, he was going to help, and, like, it was but I was a very little kid. I was, like, 4 or something.
Okay. All
so
right.
it was, like...
Vivid memory, then. It must have stayed with you.
It was the only time I ever got stung by a jellyfish.
That is, yeah. Well, I mean, as in a previous episode, I mentioned how vivid my memory was of getting stung by a bee for the first time, so I get it.
Oh, yeah, no, I just remember not realizing how dangerous they were. And then I got hit by one, and then I knew how dangerous they were.
I think that's part of the reason why I don't go. I'm averse to the beach more often, just because
certain beaches. I mean, certain ones will not have them. In Maryland, they're everywhere.
Yeah. How did we get on this?
Because of my memory into her memory of Abe Lincoln. Or
okay, there we go. We're back to it. So actually,
she said he looked like Abe Lincoln.
Well, that's another reason why I wouldn't mind her coming back for the third one. So
to get another story?
To get another monologue. Like find out that
if they bring her back, they need to do.
They need to do a third monologue and have it be like one of the most innocuous holidays, like St. Patty's Day or
Founders Day,
or Founders Day, or Columbus Day,
Thanksgiving. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
That would be. I would die if they did that.
I would die, and Phoebe Cates. All right, you're probably not going to watch this, but I'm going to beg you. It's like going, if they come to you, make this your condition.
I need another story.
I need a monologue. Give me another story. And don't cut me off this time.
No, we want to hear the end of the story.
We want to hear that. We want to hear that so bad.
But it was funny just because you knew that was the joke, and it was like,
oh my god, everything about it was so great. I don't know anyone who hates Gremlins 2 nowadays. I mean, I'm sure there were people who were dissenters of the first one.
There might be some that are like more like the sinister tone of the first one.
Yeah,
because the second one's definitely not.
One person on Facebook actually attacked me for about liking the second movie, and because
how old were they? 10?
I don't know. I didn't care. If they were one of those freaking cowards who like had an avatar for their.
Oh yeah. So I call those. I always call them cowards.
Yeah.
Like you won't put your face to your words. Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. And they were like, bitching about the fact that Joe Dante, he bastardized the first movie because he did his own thing. He put like freaking Warner Brothers paraphernalia all over it. It's because it's a Warner Brothers movie, dude.
Those are edgelords who want. They're the people who think they're smart because they hate things, and it's the most pathetic thing on earth.
All right, guys. I'm gonna also say this: if the conclusion you come to is hate, in all likelihood, you're probably wrong.
It's
Sorry.
not worth it. Like,
if you don't like something, move the fuck on.
Yeah, and accept that some people are probably gonna like it.
Yeah.
Just get a life.
Exactly.
I don't care about the stuff I don't like. Guess what? You don't know what it is because I don't talk about it.
Part of the reason why on this podcast, more often than not, we're going to be spotlighting movies because we want to spotlight them to tell you all about them. I only do movies I'm not particularly fond of out of obligation. We did Final Destination 4 because we had to do Final Destination 4. But I don't regret it. We still are trying to find good things to say about it because that's what you should be doing. Try to find the good and the bad. That's the That's the healthy thing to do.
There's too many people who have that nowadays. Their person, especially some young people out there, their personality is hating things because it gets clicks, it gets the attention. It's also rage bait, and they're pathetic. And it's like, oh, you don't like the second one? Okay, go fuck off.
Yeah.
All right, good. Go watch the first one.
Yeah, I think I wrapped it up, and he never responded afterwards, like saying, "Dude, you need to get some joy in your life."
Yeah. Usually they can't respond after that because it's
what
are you gonna say?
I'm just like, dude, you really need to find some happiness. You need to get yourself a sense of humor. You need to because I'm sorry, how can you not enjoy a movie where in the dead center of it, for no real reason, all of a sudden the movie conks out?
I mean, if it's not your bag, if the over the top meta and the over the top comedy is just not your thing, fine. But it's going to be the thing for some other people. So if they're enjoying it, how about don't yuck on others' yum?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, do I get it how a person would hate it? I only think like probably people love the smell of their own farts, might not, but there's always going to be somebody.
I mean,
I saw people saying how they didn't like Sinners, and I'm like, I don't know you, and I don't understand.
Oh no, pretty much anyone who I've ever seen say they don't like Sinners, they always do the whole, we already did that whole discussion anyway, but
still, I just back away.
It's like Gremlins 2 is one of the most infinitely lovable movies, even on its own, just because of how much unabashed fun it's having, and the fact that Joe Dante just went balls out on it, and now, in the decades since the movie came out, so many people have gravitated to it more, and I think a lot of them have learned to love Gremlins on their own as characters because Gremlins 2 just wanted to revel in how much fun they are.
Gremlins 2 is the one that made the Gremlins the stars now.
Exactly.
That's why people want to see them. That's why they keep popping up and things. They have their own prequel. They were in the Lego movie.
Yeah, they popped up in the Lego Batman movie.
The Lego Batman movie.
Yeah, they were in the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah, so they popped up in various places, and it's always the Gremlins. And maybe Gizmo.
We even got a great Super Bowl commercial where Zach Galligan and Gizmo. I think it was a Mountain Dew commercial.
I don't remember.
I do remember. It was actually a great commercial where Gizmo, I think, drinks all the Mountain Dew. It was actually really cute.
I could see that.
It was really cute. But yeah, Gremlins just still seems to be everywhere, and it's sad. Well, and I'm happy, even in lieu of the fact that unfortunately Gremlins 2 did not do well financially, which is why we never got Gremlins 3 sooner. It was a damn shame. But there's so many like speculations as to why it happened. No one really. I think a lot of it really was because of the fact that movie came out. I remember it came out in a highly oversaturated. Oh, I think actually it was Dick Tracy. There was a.
We have to remember that back then, a lot of movies they just came out at the wrong time. Like it just like the worst summer ever or something, where there's like 6 movies that are just eating up time.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind, this is before the megaplexes. This was back when theaters did not have a lot
That's
of
true.
theaters. Like they had 6. You didn't have megaplexes with 20 plus or whatnot. So movies were cheaper, but you also didn't have a lot of them.
That's right.
And you couldn't pre-order your tickets.
No.
And all that. So
a lot of times it was a crapshoot. It was a crapshoot. You had to get to the box office, and then they find out that it's sold out, and then you could do one of two things. You either just cut your loss and leave, or wait for the next showing, hoping against hope that you can get in line. That's what I did. That's what happened with me with The Lion King. is like, the first showing we were going to was like completely sold out, so we were sitting in line waiting for the next showing.
Oh, I remember back in the days of actually having to sit in line to make sure you got a good seat. It was long before you could pre-order, and this was only almost. Oh God, I don't want to say that. Almost like 20 years ago. I remember it was The Dark Knight. We were in line for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, and
make sure we got a good seat. No, we had our tickets.
Yeah,
we just wanted to have a good seat. So you were sitting there on the floor of this place like for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Or back in the ancient times where people stayed overnight in line
to
get tickets.
Phantom Menace, anybody?
Oh, Phantom Menace.
Yeah, that was the times.
That was crazy.
Those were the times. Oh well. Kind of thing.
But yeah, that also we have to remember that was a big problem. Like, not as many movies came out, but you also didn't have a lot of
theaters showing it. That's right. That's another problem.
Like, you only had like 800 theaters. Now it's like 3,000.
I do hope at some point, now that we are living in this wonderful age where classic movies are getting screenings, if I find out that there's a screening of Gremlins 2 anywhere, I think we need to jump on it just to give it love.
Sure.
I think that'd be great. So, and speaking of giving things love, I'd say a good thing to wrap up with, instead of doing top kills in this one, let's go ahead and do our top 3 funniest moments, like the moments in both movies that made you laugh your ass off.
You can go first.
Okay, well, the first one, I alluded to it, but I'm just going to go
3 from each movie or just 3
each
total?
movie, both movies.
Oh, God.
Yeah, both
3
movies.
from each movie?
No, 3 together. 3 all together.
Okay,
3 all together. No.
God.
That, otherwise, I would have said top 6. But, yeah, no. The first one for me, just because I was watching it at home, and I didn't get to go see it in the theater. I got to watch it at home. Was when all of a sudden my VHS starts flickering, and I'm like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then all of a sudden the TV freezes, and then all of a sudden the Gremlins pop up in silhouettes, fucking with my VHS. I didn't know for the longest time that they did a secondary version. And so what they did originally, and this is the one that is on the DVD and everything, there's a whole bit where the Gremlins fuck with the movie, and they show up, and it's as if they're out in the booth fucking with you, and then Stuff. Yeah, we won't talk about him.
You talking about putting Hulk Hogan, professional wrestler turned cultural icon, in the movie where you, sir, are a raging psychopath. Don't let this town take that away from you.
But other stuff happens. Well, then they did a VHS equivalent to it where they get into a shootout match with another racist, John Wayne. So, yeah, but they still did that. And apparently, in the DVD age, someone actually took the time to cut together his own version for the DVD age, which I was kind of hoping. It'd be kind of awesome if they came out with like an Uber edition of Gremlins 2. If they cut that in, that'd be kind of beautiful. I think the next one I'd say is probably the funniest. I'd easily say the whole montage in the. Specifically, I'd probably say the breakdancing Gremlin right there. I never even saw Flashdance.
When it was doing Flashdance and then does the breakdancing.
Yeah.
That was a deep cut. Like, how many people knew that was Flashdance?
Oh, at the time, I'm sure everyone did.
Yes, but I'm saying now.
I never saw Flashdance, so I didn't know any better. But just the notion of a Gremlin doing Flashdance was just like the funniest damn thing in the world to me. And funny enough, the other thing is kind of low-key funny to me, but also indicative of a character, which has nothing to do with the Gremlins himself, is the fact that Mrs. Deagle names all of her cats after forms of currency.
That is funny.
That is actually really funny. So that's one of the other things for me. It was like freaking great.
So I'd just say the takeout of Mrs. Deagle. Like the whole... They're the little carolers in the front, and then the other one's inside messing with the chair. I think that's hilarious as hell. Because it's like a full-on, trick on their part. In the second one, it's a very random... It's a moment where it's the secretary Gremlin, when Clamp's putting it into the shredder, it like looks straight at the camera, makes a face, and then screams. But it like spikes the camera completely face forward with a goofy... like it's like suddenly realize what's happening and just starts screaming. I think that's freaking funny.
Yeah.
Because it's like kind of a horrifically gory moment, but then it like... makes a funny face.
Exactly.
The first moment when the in the second film, the other evil gremlins are messing with the cooking show.
Oh yeah, Microwave with Marge.
Who's making I don't know what the fuck she's making in that pot.
Like a tuna noodle type thing.
Tuna noodle casserole
with a shit ton of
cooking sherry. And then one of the gremlins pops out and he just they just fuck with her, and then
Yeah.
they put stuff in the microwave to blow it up. And I like how one just covers up his face, like, oh, that's gonna help.
Well, and yeah, and apparently that whole sequence was a parody of the first movie with Billy's mom in the kitchen.
But they're winning the situation. That's like they knew what the microwave was and what don't put pots in there.
Yeah,
and that also causes the water systems to go off, and they.
Yeah, and fun bit of trivia, Microwave Marge was played by Kathleen Freeman, a wonderful veteran character actress, most notably Blues Brothers. She was the Mother Superior in Blues Brothers, among other things. I actually also fondly remember her from the Full Monty musical. She had a great number in the beginning of Act 2. Great character actress who's popped up in a lot of other things, but that was a fun character for her in there. So, yep. So that is our coverage of Gremlins. We love the damn movie. It is a Christmas movie through and through, and it is one that we do put in the rotation like every year. Yeah. And one that has indeed been influential. Joe Dante actually still, to this day, says that a lot of times people come to him like asking, what do you feel about Critters? What do you feel about Ghoulies? How do you feel about Munchies? And he's like, there's only one that I give blessing to, and that's Critters.
Well, Critters is its own thing.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, I argue the Gremlins are more entertaining. I'm more scared of the Critters.
I am too, because the idea of being eaten alive by critters,
and they move. That's their whole goal.
Yeah,
Gremlins don't really eat people. They'll bite you, but they tend to eat everything else.
I mean, they'll kill you, but I think
they'll kill you, but they'll kill you more like a human would. They don't.
But you also know that your death will probably be also funny as hell.
Yeah, the very few people who are killed by them, it's not in any it's not like that.
Exactly. So that's fine. All right. So we have one more coming up for Christmas. That'll be the review of the new Silent Night, Deadly Night that is coming out. But that one will come out. I'm actually going to go ahead and drop that on Christmas Day. And then after that, it is our finale for 2025 with the Belial Awards. So that was our take on Gremlins. So stay tuned for the rest of 2025. Thank you for everyone for making it through that shit. But for everyone, Merry Christmas, and if you wish to delve into the dark bowels of human imagination, ask yourself the simple question, what's in the podcast?
So let me just recap right now. It's Brainy Gremlin, Spider Gremlin, Back Gremlin, Lady Gremlin, Googly Eye Gremlin, Electricity Gremlin, Hulk Hogan's gonna be in the picture. I'm gonna throw in a gremlin myself. Vegetable Gremlin.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of What's in the Podcast. If you find yourself hungry for more deep cuts into the gloriously morbid and macabre, you can also find us on TikTok, Blue Sky, and YouTube at Narcotic Casserole. You can also follow us on Instagram at Narcotic Casserole 25. Follow us if you dare.